This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's community access radio station Plains FM 96.9 and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
So Circular.
Welcome to So Circular, a sustainability radio show and podcast discussing waste reduction and circular economy. I'm Anthea Medill of Remix Plastic, and this program is brought to you by The Rubbish Whisperer. Kia ora katoa katoa. Welcome to episode 3 of So Circular. This episode we will be discussing fitting sustainability goals into modern lifestyles, and what better time than January to start with some resolutions. But before we start, some good news. This week, the New Zealand government has put out 2 documents for discussion that propose some changes to the emissions trading scheme that would see net emissions peak in New Zealand around 2020 levels and then begin falling from 2022. So this essentially means that businesses can't just buy carbon credits. There's going to be a cap on them, so they'll be forced to change the way that they're doing things. And those documents are open for submissions until February. And our second piece of news isn't so much news as just a really informative summary of zero waste in 2019. So Hannah and Liam from The Rubbish Trip have compiled an incredible summary of the year to show how much has happened in the waste space in New Zealand over the past year. So from bag bans to bottle deposits, they've covered it all. And so you can see that information and more information about the government's discussion documents on our website's So Circular section. This is So Circular. You can contact us with your feedback and questions through Facebook or Instagram using the tag @RemixPlastic or via our website, remixplastic.com. We're happy to have Helen Townsend from The Rubbish Whisperer back in the studio again with us to discuss fitting sustainability into a busy lifestyle. Morena, Helen.
Hi. Happy New Year. Did you have a good break?
Yeah, it was good. This is first day back at work, so
yep.
Let's crack on.
Okay.
So with Christmas and New Year's just past, do you think that it has been easier for you to do waste reduction stuff around the house over the holidays or harder?
I think that it was harder in the first week because I was tired at the end of the year. So don't try anything new.
Anything at all?
Tired. No, not anything at all. Trying new sustainability things is better not in your 2-week annual leave when you're tired out and Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
The second week, I would say easier because I felt rested and I had time and I wasn't away, and I even thought about making crackers for about 5 minutes. I didn't actually make them. But I thought about it.
You could have made them in the 5 minutes you thought about it.
Possibly.
Yeah, I had a interesting break because it was the first time that my daughter has been old enough to help me with stuff. So she's 3.5 now. And I was like, oh, this is what you do on school, like kindy holidays and school holidays, is that you trick them into thinking it's a game. Yeah. And they make biscuits with you. So then it's more fun
and then
for
it's an
everybody.
activity.
Yeah. And there's biscuits as the reward. So that was fine. Yeah, so we found that we were able to just like potter around the house, but definitely is harder if you're very tired from a year worth of work piling up on you.
You know it's not going to last, don't you? That your daughter's not going to want to make biscuits with you.
Yeah, no,
forever.
just let me enjoy
Okay,
this.
sorry.
It's
make so many biscuits now to last you for 10 years.
I'll freeze them all. All right, now I know what I have to do this weekend is get all the baking done for the rest of my life. So you and I are both really lucky in that we are self-employed and work flexible hours. And I know that that allows me in our house to shop for what we need when we need it rather than having to fit it in around other stuff or fit it in around busy jobs. So, for example, in our house, I think this will probably scare some people, as you said it did you earlier.
Don't panic, everyone.
But we do a veggie shop twice a week, and we go to bin in across town for some stuff because we like that bin in more than the one near us. We go to the Indian supermarket for some stuff in bulk, and then we go to the regular supermarket as well. So we do go all over town all the time. But that fits in with what we're doing because we work all over town, so we can coordinate that.
Okay, and you've got an electric car.
And we've got an electric car, so I don't feel as guilty. Yeah, I wouldn't do it otherwise.
So does that mean you have basically fully bulk, no plastic shopping?
No. That's the weird thing. You'd think it would,
with
wouldn't
that
you?
much
I know,
effort
right?
from
Going
that shopping.
everywhere that I can.
Yeah.
No, so the stuff that we get from the supermarket is stuff that we generally still need that's in plastic. But some of that is just restrained by the fact we don't have enough money to buy expensive cheese without packaging. We just buy the cheese from the supermarket, and that's one of our compromises.
Expensive cheese, though. I'd eat so much cheese if I bought really nice non-packaged cheese all the time.
Imagine if we were rich, we'd just sit around eating cheese.
How much cheese would I eat? A lot. I'd eat a lot of cheese.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. We're sometimes packaging. If you're avoiding packaging, it actually means that you avoid really unhealthy food as well, because instantly you're eating healthier, because generally packaged food is
I'm
bad
still
for
thinking
you.
about really nice cheese,
Okay.
though.
All right, get back here. But generally, a lot of people that want to make sustainable changes are stuck in 9 to 5 or have really busy lives around family commitments and everything else. So they need the convenience of one place to do their grocery shop. So what do you think that people who are in that situation can do to help relieve that stress?
Well, I find even going to the supermarket once a week a challenge, time-wise, and also just because I don't like doing it, so it seems to take up a lot of brain power to get to the supermarket.
A lot of people have that.
So I would say shopping online, because when you shop online, you don't have to drive to the supermarket. So I think it's better to have one supermarket delivery van instead of 20 of us sitting in our cars at rush hour trying to get to the supermarket at 5 o'clock. So it takes cars off the road, so that's good. In fact, imagine if... Okay, well, let's imagine the future. Imagine if the supermarkets put solar panels on their roof of the supermarket and then got an electric van and then charged the electric van at the supermarket and then did the deliveries like that. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be cool. I think, do some have electric vehicles? I think Newham does, maybe.
Possibly. They all should.
They all should.
And also, in this nice shopping utopia, if there's fewer of us driving to the supermarkets, then we wouldn't need so many car parking spaces.
Oh, yeah.
We could have more trees instead of car parks.
Look at you solving all the world's problems with one tiny question.
But there wasn't... I was going to say something else. No, that was it.
Just double check.
Yeah.
So we're really... Well, this is a follow-on from the supermarket thing, is that I was going to say how supermarkets have changed a lot in the last year. So... I know that you've probably noticed it as much as I have, that a year ago you couldn't necessarily get reusable straws or bamboo toothbrushes or plastic-free produce in some places. And so now supermarkets are becoming a lot easier to make sustainable changes in. So you can just go and buy the bamboo toothbrush right next to the plastic ones.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased. New or Durham Street has a refill station for your dishwashing liquid and your other stuff.
Yeah, how awesome is that for mainstream sustainable?
Yeah, that's really good. I did take an ice cream container because I thought they might have washing powder, and they didn't. So then I had to tell them at the checkout that it was an empty ice cream container.
You've just been hoarding around with you like a crazy lady.
I hadn't just eaten all the ice cream in the shop. So more bulk stuff at the supermarket where you can take your own containers. That would be awesome. Supermarkets.
Yeah.
Please.
The interesting thing is that, and I've spoken to a lot of people about this when they say how hard it is to use bulk bins sustainably, is that at the supermarket it costs so much more to buy things from the bulk bins than just buy the packaged thing next to it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's quite frustrating, and I had that yesterday when I accidentally bought $4 worth of chocolate raisins because they didn't look like much. And so that is one challenge that I think people are still struggling with. But the refill stations for the eco-store stuff is like price comparable, which is good. And supermarkets allow people to take their own containers for deli stuff now as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's pretty massive. It means that you can get the exact same product without the plastic.
Yeah. All those years we did it and they looked at us like was something wrong with us.
To go get the manager.
I know. Now you can do it.
They've come a long way. So there's definitely signs that it's going to get easier and easier, hopefully.
I'm not sure how filling your own is going to fit in with... it doesn't really fit in with online delivery, though, except that there's that new scheme which I probably should have looked up because I can't remember the name, where they're doing online deliveries, but you can return your bottles. What's that called?
There's Honest Whole Food Company, is that what you mean, in Wanaka?
No, there's a big like international brand one. Loop.
Yeah, that's I think it's out of the States, and it's run by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and it's pretty much just a massive returnable container system for big companies. So it's like Coca-Cola and Unilever and all these big brands that have signed up for it, and they have design containers that can then just be returned and refilled, which is pretty massive.
Great.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
And it launched recently in Australia, so it's getting
so
closer
it'll get
and
to
closer.
us in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes!
Eventually it's slowly making its way to the bottom of the world. And there is a place in Wanaka called Honest Whole Food Company, and they... it's a really interesting system and quite complicated that you can send them your containers and they'll fill them and send them back.
That's quite interesting.
And they do a lot around reducing waste within their supply chain as well. So it's not just the customer gets the product with no waste, but they buy in ways that is sustainable and put pressure on suppliers, and they only use courier places that drive stuff around, don't fly stuff around, so it's less emissions.
Cool.
But it's still like, a lot to think about. So it's not one of the simple ones.
I feel really excited though if you've got Loop and once mainstream things are becoming more sustainable in circular economy, then we're totally winning. It's great.
And if in general people want to do something to help with these problems, if they want to be a part of the solution, if it's right there on the shelf for them to buy instead of the thing that's bad for the planet, surely let's hope that people go for the thing that's better.
Imagine that. I want to live in my little utopia where there's
solar
trees
everywhere.
And trees instead of car parks. I'm feeling really excited about that now. And it's 2020, which is a futuristic kind of date, so it's exciting.
Oh, this is fun. So I was thinking about this and thinking in some of our previous conversations we've had around the way that people decide to make a change is that everybody has like a different catalyst for their own personal thing. So one of the really common ones that I've come across is that beeswax wraps seem to be a thing that people see as their like gateway into sustainability or zero waste stuff. And so if they get beeswax wraps to swap from cling film and then from there take on other things. So that seems to be a good first step for some people. And shampoo bars, replacing shampoo bottles is another really common one at the moment. And there's some awesome shampoo bars out there now.
So I'm trying the no poo, which sounds like a horrendous medical.
Awful. Don't call it to anybody.
Call it that. Okay, I'll start that again.
It's called no shampoo.
No shampoo. I found that summer is a good time to try out no shampoo, with the theory being that if you stop washing your hair, it goes back to its natural, glorious state of loveliness, like your hair.
Thank you. I stopped washing it in, I think it was August last year.
Yeah. And now it looks great. I mean, it really looked great before, I can't remember. But so I'm 3 weeks in and I've discovered summer's a good time because I swim a lot, so it helps keep it under control. So week 3, apparently 3 more weeks, I'll have like supermodel hair.
Maybe she's born with it.
So everyone can try that, but I can't do any important meetings for another 3 weeks. I have to wear a hat.
Yeah, I've found that it's something I wish I'd done earlier. I've gone my whole life dealing with the hair that I've hated dealing with, and now not only do I not have to wash it, but it's awful. Like, it's not as awful to deal with in general.
And you don't have to buy any more shampoo.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about the palm oil in the shampoo or the shampoo bar or the packaging or the
store
money.
it in your shower. Oh my gosh, the list goes on. It's hard.
And you get beautiful hair at the same time.
That's wins all round, Helen. So we've kind of been talking about solutions already anyway, but do you have any other suggestions specifically for ways that people can fit stuff into their busy lives? Put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you did put
I've
me
got
on
a
the
list
spot.
in front of me.
Well,
if you want me.
Why don't you start and I'll
Okay.
chime in, because there are so many ways I should be able to come up with something.
So my first one was what we've talked about already is just doing what you can where you can and not doing it all at once or in the first week of your summer holiday. But the second one that I've found really important is pairing up with people. And so surrounding yourself with people who have the same values or the same goals, and so that you're not feeling like you're isolated and alone fighting this battle on your own.
Yeah.
And one of the things, like, that can be in two forms. It can be just people in your life, whether you've got people like that around you already that could help you with things like sharing cooking or sharing baking or sharing whatever. But it could also just be online. So there's this incredible Facebook group called Zero Waste in New Zealand, ! And it has over 20,000 members. And it's just an amazing place for, like, if you're having a good day and you want to celebrate with somebody and there's nobody in your life that you feel like you can tell that will be excited, then you can put it in there.
You can tell us.
Yeah.
If you have no one in your life who's interested in sustainability, tell us.
We're real interested.
Yeah. We'll nerd out about it all day with you.
And it also means that you can share with other people that knowledge. So, like, obviously starting from scratch in your house is really hard. And so if you can just ask questions or share what other people have gone through or whatever, then you can it makes it a lot easier rather than trying to do it on your own. And my third one, I'm just going to ramble off my list, which we've kind of already talked about, but is making a decision at the shop rather than when you're standing at the bin. So there's so many people that I've talked to that have said that they'll stand in front of the rubbish bin holding a weird piece of plastic, wondering whether it goes in the landfill bin or the recycling. And more often than not, it goes in the landfill bin, unfortunately. But to make your life so much easier, you can avoid having that 5 minutes in front of the bin by just choosing when you're at the supermarket, buying something that's either in glass that you know you'll be able to reuse or that you know will be recycled, because glass is always recycled, or in packaging that you know will be able to be recycled. So, or like other packaging. So plastic that is definitely taken by your curbside recycling. Or, like, avoid it all by just taking your own container and not having any packaging.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to, well, actually probably all the time, it's good to not try to do this in your normal shop at 5 o'clock when you're trying to get home.
Or when you're real hungry.
Or when you're hungry, that's not a good time. Yeah. Because you might have to buy things that you wouldn't, not different things, but different brands. Yeah. And you might want to compare the prices and decide if you want to buy it or not. So trying to do that while you're also trying to do your shop and get home and
just survive life.
So maybe you need an outing. Yeah. Take a friend. Go and look at the supermarket.
Trip. And it's actually quite fun. We have done that before together on our little tours of supermarkets.
Yeah, it is. It's like, because you never, well, some people, I never look around. I just buy the stuff I always buy.
I want to get in and get out of there.
Find something new and exciting.
Yeah. Like that muesli we spotted that time. Oh, that was a great day.
That makes it sound like our lives are not very exciting.
But it was really nice muesli.
Yeah.
And the last one that I have on my list is to make your sustainable things habits. So make it your routine to have your reusable produce bag and your deli container in your shopping bag before you go to the supermarket, so that you don't think about them anymore. And I think that that's where I am with most of my stuff, is that I don't really have to think too hard now. It's kind of all just normal for me. And a good way to make those work really quickly is to... So my example of this is that I punished myself by not getting coffee if I didn't have my reusable cup. So that quickly meant that I always had my reusable cup.
It quickly meant that your friends carried an extra reusable cup.
Because they know what I'm like. Hangry crackers and a reusable cup. But things like that you instantly will then be like, oh, yeah, I forgot that. I need to take that with me everywhere.
Because now we've had reusable shopping bags.
Yeah.
I'm assuming everyone is remembering their reusable shopping bags. And this time last year... everyone's still like, how will I ever remember them?
The world will end.
Oh, and now we're doing it. So, good for us. Look at us. You see people all the time carrying their... You know where people are going because they're carrying their reusable shopping bag with them. It's good. Look at where the world is making progress.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's been a big past year, hasn't it? Cool. It's kind of all I've got for my list.
That's a pretty good list.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add, or are you happy with that?
I'm happy.
Concise coverage?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You're listening to So Circular with Anthea Medill of Remix Plastic, featuring discussions on waste reduction and circular economy in practice. Brought to you with support from The Rubbish Whisperer and Plains FM.
leaving everybody with a do one challenge from all of the things that we've talked about, what would you say is something that people could go away and do this month?
So I think that still on the shopping line is to stop buying processed packaged biscuits, chocolate biscuits.
Controversial.
I know, I'm going to be controversial and say don't buy chocolate biscuits because chocolate biscuits, while they are nice, they are more expensive than biscuits you might get by yourself. They come in lots of packaging. They invariably contain palm oil, which we'll talk about some other time, won't we?
Yeah.
Yes. They're also not very good for you.
Good point.
And they go really quickly because they're so yummy.
They're like the epitome of all evil.
In deliciousness. But if you make some biscuits using your child.
I was going to say that was going to be my do one.
Oh, no.
Use your child while you can.
And just eat chocolate because chocolate is chocolate. I like Trade Aid chocolate because it's delicious.
And you can buy it on the supermarket shelves in some places.
Yeah, you can. Oh, did you know you can buy it in like massive bulk?
No, you have.
Or Whittaker's chocolate doesn't have palm oil in it.
And it's all fair trade, I found out, even though they're not all branded fair trade.
Yeah, because it depends where the stuff is grown.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
So I would say eat more chocolate, eat fewer packaged biscuits.
Good one. That's a good challenge to start the year. Mine is going to be, along the similar lines, is that if you're in the supermarket and there's two options and the sustainable one is slightly more expensive, buy it anyway because you'll offset the cost in some other way.
How?
So, this is a whole other episode.
Okay.
So, what's an example of this? Well, okay, so toothbrushes. If I buy a bamboo toothbrush and it costs $1 more and I buy one more often than I buy a plastic one, because my plastic one will last forever and it looks fine and I don't think it needs replacing, I'll buy, this is quite a complicated example.
I'll take notes.
I'll actually change my toothbrush as often as the dentist recommends. And so I'll have fewer dentist bills.
Oh, my goodness.
For the win.
You've just taken a $1 extra toothbrush and saved yourself thousands of dollars.
I know, see? Caring for the planet and caring for myself.
Well, I can't really argue with that. You can have that one.
Thank you. And so this episode, we're going to launch our latest Send In Your Sustainability Wins. Do you want to say any more about this? Because you just want to hear about people's wins.
Yeah, I want to
you?
hear people's wins.
Yeah,
and
cool.
you send in your questions too.
Yeah, but if you want.
If you want.
If you have to.
Yeah, we can do something with those. But I want to hear people's wins.
Yeah, so anybody is welcome to send in anything that they've found successful in their past zero waste reducing challenge things. And great. That's it. In our next episode, we're going to be discussing how to communicate sustainability with others, whether it's your family, your friends, or staff and colleagues. Thanks, Helen.
Thank you. Ka kite anō.
So circular.
You can listen to all our shows online at plainsfm.org.nz. For details on upcoming shows and links to resources we've mentioned in this episode, visit remixplastic.com.